Oh, we're good?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. So we're, hey guys, it's Dennis from DC Super Shine. We are working on a moose bumper today. This one here is an average shape. We're gonna be doing some sanding first, 320, 400, 600, and 800. We're gonna high speed sand, and then the smaller corners and the stuff that the tighter spots that are harder to get, we're gonna use the DA. So I'm gonna be using my foam pad here for the high speed sanding. It has a little bit of give to it, so it's a little bit more forgiving for whenever you're doing high speed sanding so you don't groove your aluminum. So as you guys can see, there was a bunch of lights at the bottom. I removed all those. I removed the license plate just to make the job a little bit easier. I taped up the lights that I can't get off, and it'll just make it a little bit safer whenever you do your sanding. Okay guys, so sanding is completed. We are gonna start the polishing process. I'm gonna use my 6,000 RPM with a fast cut pad, or this is a max cut actually from Marpole. And I'm gonna be using this C106 Marpole Pink today and see how quickly we can cut through these sander marks. Little thing I want to mention here is whenever you're cutting sander marks, your travel speed makes a big difference. So depending on, first of all, what RPMs you're using, so a 6,000 RPM will definitely cut faster than a 3,500 RPM. So for example, a 3,500 RPM, your travel speed is going to have to be very slow to be able to cut through the sander marks. Another factor is your compound. So depending on if you're using a heavy cut or a medium cut, even some of the heavy cuts, this is considered a heavy cut, but it doesn't cut as quickly as some of the other heavy cuts, like the Green Manzurna or my DC Supershine heavy cut bar, for example, cut a lot faster than this. But this gives a little bit more shine, so you can still cut all of the sander marks out, and your end result's going to be a little bit more shiny, so when you come to do your finishing, it'll make that process a little bit easier as well. So I just want to show you a little thing. One of the common mistakes that a lot of people make is they try and go too fast. So their travel speed is basically the speed that your grinder is moving from right to left or up and down, whatever. So a lot of people will go too quick, they won't cut the sander marks, and then you're gonna get a bunch of like a haziness or a brown look to your aluminum, and I'll show you what that looks like. So that would be the proper speed to cut your sander marks with this bar. Now I'm gonna go a little bit faster and show you it's gonna leave some sander marks. Now if you look clear through, you're gonna still see, depending on the light that you look at, you're gonna see some sander marks. It's not as clear. So that's why you've been seeing me whenever I'm polishing, I'm using the light to my advantage to try and find the sander marks, so if there's sander marks, I can go over them and fix them. Okay guys, so the cutting step is completely done. Now we're on to the finishing. I'm gonna use my 3,500 RPM. I'm gonna set it at 2,200 RPM. Flannel pad and my blue DC Super Shine finishing bar. Now there is some spots, some tight corners, stuff like this here under here, where you can't really get with the machine. So I'm gonna blend that in by hand once the finishing is done, and it should look great after that. Okay guys, so finishing is done. Now there's a few spots that are left to be done by hand. We have to blend it by hand. I'm gonna use my aluminum polish by Stéphane Gauthier. And we're just gonna get in here by hand with a cotton rag and some flannel on some of the flatter surfaces. And we'll get all of that blended in, and it'll look awesome whenever it's done. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. Like me on Facebook and Instagram, and we'll catch you in the next one.